Picture this. You wake up in the dead of night to the gut-wrenching scream of a chainsaw ripping through your family's history. A century-old oak tree, older than your house, your street, maybe even your whole sleepy town, is under attack. That's the nightmare I lived through in Crestwood Pines, a picture-perfect suburb where the lawns are pristine, the houses are Victorian, and the HOA president, Evelyn Carver, decided my tree was her sworn enemy. My name's Ethan Caldwell, and this isn't just about a trite about a woman who thought she could bulldoze her way through a neighborhood, only to end up with a felony charge and a story that'll leave you speechless. Crestwood Pines was my sanctuary. 3 years ago, I inherited my grandma's house, a charming old place with a massive oak out front. That tree was a stunner, branches stretching like they were embracing the sky, leaves whispering tales of my grandparents' picnics, my dad's childhood rope swings, my own summers scrambling up its limbs. Every morning, I'd sit on the porch, coffee in hand, watching sunlight dance through its canopy, birds chirping like they owned the place. It wasn't just a tree. It was the heartbeat of my home, a living piece of history that made Crestwood feel alive, bigger than just another suburb. Then Evelyn strutted in. Imagine a woman in her 50s storming down my driveway in a neon pink tracksuit that screamed dollar store bedazzling, a knockoff Prada bag swinging, her heels clacking loud enough to rattle the neighbors. She was the HOA president, the self-crowned queen of Crestwood, with a smile that said, "I'm about to make your life hell." "Mr. Caldwell," she snapped, jabbing a manicured finger at my oak like it had stolen her parking spot. "That thing's a hazard. It's blocking my VYEW, dumping leaves on my lawn, and tanking my property value." I stood there, coffee halfway to my lips, thinking she was joking. "Ma'am, this tree's been here 100 years. It's protected by city heritage laws." Her eyes narrowed, earrings jangling like wind chimes in a hurricane. "I don't care if it was planted by Abraham Lincoln, Ethan. Rules are rules." That was the spark that ignited a fire I never saw coming. Evelyn wasn't just annoyed, she was obsessed. That tree stood for something she couldn't control, something older and grander than her HOA clipboard. I tried reasoning with her, explaining how the oak was in every old photo of Crestwood, how tourists stopped to snap pictures. But Evelyn just waved her fake bag like she was swatting my words away. "History's overrated," she sneered. "Modern standards matter more." I was dumbfounded as she stormed off, her heels clicking like gunfire. A week later, a thick envelope landed in my mailbox, stamped with Crestwood Pines HOA in bold red ink. Inside was a violation hunting notice, all official-looking with fancy letterheads and legal jargon that screamed, "Comply or else." It claimed my tree violat some new bylaw about organic structures over 20 feet. I checked the date, 6 weeks old, right after Evelyn moved in. Suspicious, right? I dug through my grandma's old property records, city charters, anything I could find. Turns out, the oak was a designated heritage landmark, untouchable by HOA nonsense. Those new bylaws, they didn't exist in any original agreement we'd all signed. I wasn't letting this slide. I marched to Evelyn's house, papers in hand, ready to call her bluff. She was in her yard, fussing over plastic daisies arranged like a geometry project gone rogue. "Mrs. Carver," I said, keeping my cool, "these rules you're citing, they're not real. I've got the original HOA charter right here." She stood up, hands on hips, her polka dot sundress clashing with the sunrise. "Ethan, you're young, so let me school you. The board can update rules anytime to protect our investments. Maybe read up on community governance before you challenge someone who knows better." Her voice dripped with that patronizing tone you'd use on a kid who spilled Kool-Aid. I held my ground. "Changes need votes, Evelyn. Where's the meeting? The minutes? The proof?" Her smirk flickered, but she doubled down. "Emergency protocols, dear. Safety first." Right then, a sleek black car rolled up, and out stepped Marcus Vaughn, HOA lawyer, all polished suit and crocodile grin. Evelyn lit up like she'd hit the jackpot. "Marcus, perfect timing. Ethan's confused about our new landscaping rules." Marcus shook my hand too hard, his smile faker than Evelyn's bag. "Mr. Caldwell, the board's got full authority to enforce standards. That tree's a liability. I looked between them, my stomach sinking. This wasn't just Evelyn's vendetta, it was a setup. They were banking on me folding under their slick threats. I wasn't folding. That night, I ran into my neighbor, Clara Henshaw, 70-year-old Spitfire who knew everyone's dirt. She was walking her yappy dog, Tinker, and leaning close. "Ethan, I saw something odd last night. Evelyn and that lawyer were at Quick Print downtown, past closing, hauling boxes, and looking shifty." My gut screamed this was big. The next day, I swung by Quick Print and chatted up Ryan, the night shift guy. He grinned, remembering Evelyn. "Oh yeah, lady in a loud orange dress. Wanted fancy letterheads, official seals, the works. Paid cash to make it look legit, like she was printing court orders or something. Jackpot. Evelyn was forging documents to scare me into submission. I lawyered up, hiring Rachel and Gwen, an NVY environmental attorney who chewed up HOA scams like bubblegum. She pored over Evelyn's violation notice, her eyes narrowing. "Ethan, this is fraud. Bylaw changes need votes. Notices, filings, none of which happened. We're talking criminal territory." Relief and dread hit me at once. This was bigger than I'd thought, but I had a fighter in my corner. Rachel pushed for a city inspection to shut Evelyn down. When Inspector Greg Larson showed up, he spent hours checking the oak roots, trunk, branches. His verdict? This tree's a rock star. No hazards, no issues. Heritage laws protected. I wanted to hug him. Evelyn's safety complaints were dead in the water. Or so I thought. A few nights later, at 3:07 a.m., a chainsaw's roar tore me out of sleep. I stumbled outside, barefoot, heart hammering, and there was Evelyn, her purple tracksuit glittering under the streetlights, wielding a chainsaw like a slasher mo EVY lane. My oak was bleeding sap, limbs hacked off, my yard a war zone. "Stop," I roared, while VY in my arms. "You've got no right." She shut off the saw, sweating, eyes blazing with triumph. "Emergency removal, Ethan." HOA gave me full authority. I was shaking, dialing 911, screaming about property destruction. Cops rolled up, neighbors in pajamas gawking, but Evelyn waved her forged papers, claiming safety protocols. The officers couldn't arrest her on the spot, too much paperwork confusion. I stood there, staring at my mutilated tree, feeling like I'd lost a piece of my soul. Clara, bless her, was already on her porch, snapping photos with her phone, yelling she'd seen everything. The next day, Rachel filed an emergency motion, armed with Clara's EVY Denke, Ryan's testimony, and the inspector's report. Evelyn's forged documents crumbled under scrutiny. The city slapped her with a felony charge for property destruction and fraud. Her reign as HOA queen was over. Her name, now a cautionary tale in Crestwood Pines. But the oak? It's still standing, scarred but alive. I'm working with arborists to save what's left, planting new saplings to carry its legacy. Every morning I sit on my porch, coffee in hand, staring at those gnarled branches, and I feel the heartbeat of my home, still beating. So what do you think? Was Evelyn a power-hungry tyrant who got what she deserved? Or was she just a misguided neighbor pushed too far by HOA pressure? Should I have compromised to avoid the chaos? Or was fighting for my tree the only choice? And what about HOA? They protect communities or just breed bullies like Evelyn? Drop your thoughts below. Hit that like button if this story got your blood pumping. And subscribe for more real-life dramas that'll keep you on the edge of your seat.